We're here at the European Growth Summit in Amsterdam, and we have some special guests at our table today. Mr. Verne Harnish, growth expert, author and founder of multiple organizations. Welcome. Also, a Dutch entrepreneur, Mei Lin Ang, founder of Frozz. Welcome too. And of course, Kees de Jong, Spark Education, the host of today's Growth Summit. Mei Lin, first question. Could you tell us a little more about your company?
My company is about good food concepts. We basically we do different good food concepts that give the possibility to, when you don't have a lot of time, to eat fresh and healthy. So we started out with frozen yogurt, and we have noodle soups, and we're working on a healthy pizza.
Okay, when did you start?
We started in 2010. It was an experiment. And I was still working in the corporate world at IBM. And at the end of the year, I decided to take a sabbatical, and I went. So my first real year was 2011.
All right, and still growing the company?
Yes, we've grown from basically one experiment shop in a trendy area in Amsterdam to 12 shops throughout Holland. And we basically worked on the retail concept to make that better, because frozen yogurt was really good actually, but in the winter we had a lot less revenue. So we created the next concept, and that was noodle soup. So with very little additional investment, you are able to actually use your square meters that you're renting in the winter fully. So that was the first phase, and now I'm actually going into different distribution channels. So with our frozen yogurt, we make people happy in the shops. People come in, shop in shops, basically retail. And now we have a frozen yogurt wholesale product, meaning we sell to supermarkets. And actually kind of building a modular, what you call modular growth strategy, which is basically I try out everything in the shops, in the retail, and then develop it into a wholesale product so we can reach more people.
Okay, so you're really focusing on growth. That's also why you're here today.
Yes, that's exactly why I'm here and why I'm part of the growth program.
Mr. Harnish, well, you teach people, you write books about growing your company. Is it the good way to get inspired, reading a book or coming to a Growth Summit like here today?
You know, it's interesting. So I ran an executive program at MIT for 15 years, still teaching. And one of the things I was looking for is, could I predict who was going to scale up the bigger businesses among the CEOs that were in the program? And I was able to. And it came down to one thing, and those that were hungriest to learn. I could see it in their body language when we had speakers taking notes, going up and talking to the speakers afterwards, reading the books. The hungrier to learn. It's the Bill Gates Think Week that he did twice a year. And, you know, I'm excited he's back as kind of guest chairman of the company. And people discount Microsoft as the third largest market cap company on the planet after being in a technology space for 40 plus years. That's tough to do, and it's because, first and foremost, he set the pace for learning in the organization. So absolutely, 24 books a year is kind of the gold standard for A-player executives, and when you stop learning, you stop growing.
How many books do you read, Mei Lin?
I read a lot, and I'm really good at reading quickly. So I have actually usually 4 or 5 books at the same time. It's really, I don't know how I do that, but sometimes I have also audiobooks, so when I run, I listen. But yeah, I have 4 or 5 books that I actually read, and sometimes I read the back, the front and the back, and sometimes I read them throughout, depending on how I feel and what I need at that moment.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not necessarily reading; it's learning of all kinds, listening, watching, coming to events like we're having today. So
I like also little short videos on the internet.
Yes.
Those are really good. Yeah.
Okay. Like we're making here today, so maybe some other entrepreneurs can learn from your stories. Kees, you also help Dutch entrepreneurs growing their business. Some entrepreneurs are a bit stubborn, not willing to learn. Is that big loss in Holland?
Yes, because growth of the company starts with growth of the entrepreneur. So when the entrepreneur, him or herself, doesn't see that he or she needs to learn, the company will not grow or will not grow to its potential. So I have two goals, and the first one is to wake entrepreneurs up. Like I was woken up following one of Verne's programs, especially by meeting other entrepreneurs who were growing faster and way faster than I did, and I was not threatened. I was inspired by that. And the second part is what we just discussed. If you are then inspired that you need to grow and you have more ambition, then you have to change yourself, and then you have to learn. And those two ingredients I want to help put in front of Dutch entrepreneurs.
Okay. Verne, how can you locate these growth chances? How do you know where to grow?
I think first of all, Bob Bloom's got one of my favorite books called The Inside Advantage. And you just look at what you've already been doing and you say what's working, what's not working, and make some tough decisions. And usually kind of between 0 and 3 to 4 years of business, you've got to say yes to everything. Yeah, can you guys do that? Yes. And can you do that? Yes, yes. So you say yes to everything. But you hit a point where you finally have to start saying no more than yes. And that's the real measure that you have a focused strategy that then you can use to grow the business. So your first 3 to 5 years is figuring out what you're absolutely fantastic at. And then it's about exploiting that advantage as far around the planet as you can.
Right. Mei Lin, how do you do this to explore growth opportunities?
Yeah, I recognize this actually, and actually it was one of Peter van Os actually who said to me, the first time I met him, he said, because I was, I could do so many things, and I didn't know how, and everything would cost money, of course. And he said, well, just shoot your bullets and then fire your cannon. That's what he said actually, and that's what I've been doing. Because so in the winter revenue is bad, so I tried pancakes and waffles and coffee. They taste really, really good, but it didn't bring my sales up that much. So I tried in a very low threshold way. I did the noodles. Basically, in the summer you see fruits, and in the winter you see vegetables and meat. And so it didn't cost a lot of money. So that was a bullet actually that really that I made basically getting out my cannon for. But not only that, I did a pilot for a supermarket product. For one supermarket for 8 months, and then we did a second one after that, and it was basically handmade, and go and ask the consumers, do you like it? How do you like it? Is it too expensive? Is it too sweet? And that was one bullet that's now a major cannon.
Yeah, sure.
So that's. Yeah, it's like I'm coming from the IT world, and there you do a lot of iterations too. You try a little bit, and that works. That doesn't work, and if I have 5 things and 3 things don't work and 2 do, then I'm happy.
But it's having the guts to let go of the other 3.
Right.
People don't want to let their babies die, and that's what gets them stuck.
Yeah. In case you also advise Dutch entrepreneurs looking for these growth opportunities, is there any advice you want to give Dutch entrepreneurs?
Well, I think Mei Lin said it very well. I didn't call it bullets or cannons, but for our strategy, I built several companies from 0 to larger size, and we always called it pots on the stove. So we always had some pots on the stove to make sure that was the right project for the next year growth. So a new product, a new country, a new division, or a new. So that's one. That's like continuous innovation. But the key to real high growth is the moment you figure it out, then you really have to fully focus on it. And don't get distracted by all sorts of shiny gems, as we call them, but really execute. And until you hit the next bar, and then you have to figure out that problem. But don't get distracted running. Make sure you run and execute. And that works. That works for me, and I see it working for a lot of other entrepreneurs.
I'm not killing my babies though. I'm feeding them.
Right. No, but to product lines it didn't work. I assume you.
Oh yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, they were not babies. They were add-ons. The baby was really a frozen yogurt was the baby.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But it's those additional products. And a lot of times folks just keep expanding.
Yeah.
McDonald's is facing that right now. They've had disastrous results this last year. They realized that they just kind of got too many products and they need to go back to the fundamentals again. And we often have to do that.
So you've been a couple of times here in Holland now,
many times.
Talking to a lot of Dutch entrepreneurs. What do you feel we need to focus on here in Holland?
I think get out of Europe. The real hidden champions are those who take a very, very narrow focus. And then the only diversification strategy is chase this specific customer every place you can around the globe. So I've been telling a story about Ali, this guy who's carving doors down in Turkey. And what he's got to worry about is that there's some guy in China that's also carving wooden church doors. And so he's got to get in their market before they get in his market. So it's a race around the globe. And the Dutch are, one of the most global thinking and most global traveling group of people that I know. So do it in your business.
Okay, some great advice to end this program. Well, thank you very much for sharing your stories and good luck growing.
Yeah.